start at the front there from Nathan and Code and Metam into the first corner. They go, and they're pretty much down under the bridge for the first time, and it is Nathan Jane, and he's coming under a lot of pressure there from Brendan Code as they go through there. You've got Steve Bridges keeping a watching brief along with Connor London through the up and over, heading down towards the high pool hairpin for the very first time, and it is Nathan Jane. Brendan Code. Jane is pulling out a little bit of a gap now. Goes sitting there, Madam not too far behind. Then a bit of a gap back to Bridge and Morgan Long. We're missing two at the back there. We're missing three. We're missing Morgan Long, Adrian Clare and Daniel Hendy. So it was actually Connor London that was at the back of that group. Off they go down towards the sweeper for the first time. Out of my sight because that camera happens to have raindrops all over the front of it, so I can't see what's happening. Out of there comes Jane. He's opening up as he comes up the hill here. He's got a big lead actually, and he'll come into view anytime soon around the top of the track here. Here he comes. Oh, got a big wiggle on as he comes through there. There's that twist in the straight again, and he got the real shakes on as he came through there. And it was certainly gave himself a big fright. So across the line they come. It was Jane from Metam, from Code, London, and Bridge was the last man across the line as they head down now for the second time under the high pool bridge, sorry, the laser electrical bridge, heading down towards the high pool hairpin, and very wet out there at the moment. And this front straight is actually a bit of a, well, it's not really a straight, it's a big bend in the straight, and of course as you bend, you're turning through there, the bike gets light when it gets to the top of that hill, and on the water you can get a lot of aquaplane going on. So it's pretty much even Stevens all the way around at the moment. It is Jane leads from Metam, from Code, then London, and the gaps are pretty much even all the way through. 2.5, 3 seconds, 1.5 to 2.5 seconds. Here comes our leader again around the top of the track. A little bit more circumspect this time. Tries to straighten the corner up. He's got it going though in these conditions. 118.679, fastest bike here today. Madam comes through not too far behind him on a 120.308. Then we go back to Code. Over the top comes Nathan Jane now, heading down towards the higher pool hairpin. Ooh, it's a little bit shaky across the up and over there as well, as the bike gets a little bit light. And there's some puddles over there as well. Looking at Daniel Madam coming through next, then Brendan Code in behind him. Connor London follows through just about just on 4 seconds behind, actually, behind Code. And then Steve Bridge is not too far away from the back of Connor London. Nathan Jane leads through turn 10, past the Pirelli sign. On the exit now, he climbs out of there, ready to come up the hill. And this is a 10-lap race, this one. And with 3 down, they've got 7 to go. Unfortunately, I think this one's going to be a bit of procession. There's not a lot of them out there, and I don't think the weather conditions are certainly allowing them to get up close and personal with each other, that's for sure. So we've got Jane leads from Madam and Code. And the next one through is Connor London, and then Steve Bridge comes through behind him. Only the 5 bikes out there. Down through the turn 1 they go. As I'm watching Nathan Jane now, he's climbing up to drop down into the Porsche Dipper as Metam's just coming through the high pool hairpin now. So Nathan Jane is absolutely flying out there in these conditions. Great lap times he's putting in, considering the so that bike is really in a class of its own today. As Metam comes through, Madam about a second and a half a lap slower at this point in time. Up the hill, Jane, one more time. This will chalk up his fifth. And here comes Madam just across the line behind him, just on 6.1 seconds behind Nathan Jane. Brendan Code comes through, just about 5.2 seconds behind Madam, and here comes another further 9.5 seconds back to Connor London, and Steve Bridge a further 3 seconds back after that. Okay, we're 4 laps down. We got 6 to go. And I don't think we're going to get much of a race out of this one somehow. But I'll tell you what, though, all of a sudden Daniel Madam seems to have picked up a little bit of pace. Here comes Nathan Jane up the hill again. He'll come across the stripe anytime soon. I'll give you his latest lap time, and then I'll tell you whether or not Daniel's managed to close him down at all. Yep, 19.4 that time, 3.2 for Nathan Jane that time through. And Madam an 18.613. It switched about. I think Nathan's probably backed off a little bit, realising he's got quite a considerable... so the gap's back to 5.3 seconds from Madam to Jane. So this could be interesting as Nathan Jane just decided to maybe just stroke it home a little bit. I can see him now. He's coming out of the Porsche dipper, the high pull hairpin heading up to the Porsche dipper. And Madam is actually closing down. You can actually visibly see it on the track now as they come down into the Porsche dipper. Nathan Jane fires off on the straightaway down towards the Dale ITM. Here comes Madam now. He's the next man through the corner. And sector times, Daniel Madam is actually just a little bit slower through the sectors that time than Nathan Jane. So maybe Jane's looked in his mirror and see Daniel coming. Although what he can see in his mirrors, I don't think he can see anything in his mirrors from there. Up there they come. Across the stripe, and here comes Jane again. Okay, 19.9. Oh, I'll tell you what, that Daniel Madam is fired up and he's going for it. A 117.788. In the rain, in these conditions, that's pretty damn cool. So Daniel Madam now closing it down. He's got that gap to Nathan Jane down to 3.1 seconds. So let's just keep an eye on him, see where... So, okay, here comes Nathan Jane now. He's heading down into the higher pull hairpin right now. He's just turning in, and Madam's not that far behind. Here comes Madam now. He's turning into the hairpin this time. He's a lot closer than he was the last lap around. Up the hill they come, down into the Porsche dipper. It's Nathan Jane with Daniel Madam closing very quickly. Although Jane did set a fastest sector 1, and that with a 10.912 in the first sector. So he's obviously aware that Daniel's coming after him. Down in the Dale ITM sweeper they go for the seventh time, and with be 3 laps to go after this one. As they come up the hill now, just having a look at the sector, Daniel was faster in that second sector than Nathan. So this is where the difference is going to be at the top of the hill here. Who's it going to be through across the stripe? Okay, Nathan Jane, fast lap of the race, 117.513, and Madam takes it away straight back from him with a 17.348, so the gap's down to 2.94 seconds with 3 laps left to run. So forget everybody else, they're just all toddling around out the back there, nice and evenly spaced, but the battle is on at the front here with Daniel Madam's got himself all fired up, and he's decided that he wants to do something about Nathan Jane in front of him. So down into the high pull hairpin comes Nathan Jane one more time. Set the fastest 2 sectors that time around. Madam has yet to... I think Madam's much faster in the last sector for some strange reason. And out of the bottom corner they come up the hill towards the Porsche dipper. And Nathan James through there now, and you can see Metam has closed that gap even more. Out of there, they come to the fire up to Steve Daylight him straight. Let's see what happens this time round. Down through, they go into the sweeper. And it is definitely Nathan Jane there. He's got, I don't know if Daniel's going to be able to do any more about it, actually. Up the hill they come. Let's have a look. Here comes Jane across the line one more time. And fastest lap again for him with the 1:16.580. And Metam were 1:16.867. So Daniel, I think Daniel might have, he might have reached the ceiling there. So around the, through the up and over they go. Head down towards the high pull hairpin now. Here comes Nathan Jane. Daniels, I can see Metam a little bit, distance about the same as it was last time round. If not, Jane may have even opened up the gap a little bit. In fact, I think he has. He has opened up the gap. Up the hill they go with the drop down into the Porsche dipper. Nathan Jane comes out of there now, hits the straight, just as Metam comes into the corner. So that gap has eked out slightly. Down towards the Daylight EM sweeper they go. With the last lap board comes out this time. So I don't think Daniel's going to be able to do anything about Nathan Jane this time. I think he's opened up the gap even further this time. Let's have a look as he comes across the stripe. Yes, he has. With a 1:15.856, that is quick. And Daniel Metam does his fastest lap of the race as well with a 16.364. Everybody else is back in the 18s and 19s. I can tell you now, Connor London did a 18.477, and Brendan Code a 19.78, and Bridge a 19.446. That's last lap board out this, or last lap flag out this time. We're just looking for our last okay, here comes Jane now. He's coming through the Daylight EM sweeper. This will be his last time through there. Up the hill they come. And Daniel Metam in hot pursuit, but unfortunately it's going to be a little bit, there's just not going to be enough to catch Jane. Here he comes, across the stripe now, and bang, what's the time he puts in? Okay, backed on a little bit that time with a 15.963, and Metam the next, Metam the next man through on a 17.392. So I think Daniel realised that he wasn't going to do anything about it, so there was no point going any harder with it. So there we go. We've now just got to wait for the final ones to come through. There's 3 left, and across the line now comes Brendan Code, just looking for Connor London and Steve Bridge. Here comes Brendan Code now, and Steve Bridge can't be too far away. So that's it.